The Skarn Dominion had conquered over 75 worlds. They were efficient, ruthless, and unchallenged in their march across the stars. No species had ever resisted their advance for more than a solar cycle. Then they met humanity. At first, humans seemed like any other mid-tier civilization, technologically competent but tactically inferior. The Skarn expected the usual: surrender, subjugation, assimilation. Instead, they got Sergeant Elias Ward. Tamber 3 was a strategic human outpost perched on the edge of the Cygnus frontier. When the Skarn fleet descended, they expected to overrun the defenses in less than an hour. But the humans had already dug in, turning the jagged cliffs of Sector Delta into a kill zone. Sergeant Ward led a squad of 12 soldiers, holding the final line. For 8 hours, they repelled wave after wave of Skarn warriors. Plasma bolts scorched the rocks. Screams echoed through the smoke. The bodies of both sides littered the cratered ridge. Then came the artillery strike. A Skarn mortar exploded near Ward's position. The blast hurled him backward. When he landed, his right leg bent unnaturally beneath him. The bone had snapped clean, exposed and gleaming white under his torn combat trousers. "Sergeant, you're hit." Private Monroe crawled over, eyes wide. Ward's face twisted, not in pain but in fury. "It's just a leg," he growled. He tore open a field medkit and jammed a combat stim into his thigh. Then, with gritted teeth, he slammed a titanium splint over his broken leg and stood, wobbling but defiant. Monroe blinked. You can't fight like that." "I'm not dead yet," Ward said, raising his rifle. "Let's make sure they are." From the cliff above, a Skarn recon unit watched in disbelief. "Commander," the scout reported through comms, "the human is injured, severely, but he is still advancing." "Is he retreating?" Commander Zalvek hissed. "No, he's limping toward us." Silence. Then the human screamed. A raw, primal roar. Not of fear but of challenge. With one leg shattered and the other barely holding, Sergeant Ward charged. The Skarn line, caught in momentary shock, hesitated. What kind of creature doesn't stay down after a mortal wound? What kind of species teaches its warriors to attack after losing a limb? Their hesitation cost them dearly. Ward emptied his rifle into the advancing Skarn front, dropping 2 with precise bursts. When his rifle overheated, he pulled his sidearm. When that ran dry, he grabbed a Skarn blade from the ground and swung it single-handedly, snarling like a wounded beast. Blood streamed down his leg. Every step should have knocked him unconscious. But he didn't stop. He didn't even slow down. Within minutes, the Skarn front collapsed. Reports flooded in across Skarn comms. "We're falling back. He won't die. It's just one human. Why isn't he down?" Commander Zalvek shouted in vain, but morale had broken. One by one, his warriors turned and fled, terrified not by numbers, not by firepower, but by the indomitable will of a crippled human. Hours later, reinforcements arrived to find Ward slumped against a rock, unconscious from blood loss. The battlefield around him was eerily quiet. Burned armor, abandoned weapons, no living Skarn in sight. He was medevaced back to the nearest cruiser. When he woke up, groggy and stitched together with cybernetic bone and biofoam, the first thing he asked was, "Did we hold?" Private Monroe laughed through tears. "Sir, you didn't just hold. You won." The Skarn would never again attack Tamber 3. In Skarn military academies, they still show the footage. One man, one broken leg, and the roar that shattered an army's courage. To this day, their warriors whisper a name with caution and awe. The one who wouldn't fall. And somewhere, back on Earth, Sergeant Ward walks with a limp, but stands taller than anyone ever has.